To promote my new flower shop, I had one place print my business cards, another print my brochures, and a third, my signs. Now my roses aren't red, my violets aren't blue, my geraniums look dead, and I don't know what to do.
Staples can help your business stand out with signs, banners, and brochures that are a true reflection of your company. And now at Staples, spend $50 or more on print and marketing services and get $5 off your next in-store purchase.
Now my business is blossoming, and I'm spending less green.
Exclusions apply. In-store only. Ends 6/23/18.
Hi, I'm stunning Stella Cheeks.
And I'm the Enigma Erin Klein.
And this is
Not Your Demographic,
a feminist wrestling podcast.
Shockingly, those exist. I'm ready.
Well, I already started recording, so.
Okay. Congratulations on getting to hear me eat a muffin.
And chug a LaCroix.
Yeah.
It's the 4th of July. Muffins and LaCroix. What a festive food.
Yeah, it's the respect America deserves, I guess.
We are recording at 9. Well, we were supposed to record at 9:30. It is now like 10:15.
Yeah.
We are recording at 10:15 in the morning. So we are not drunk.
Nope.
Yet, because we wanted to get drunk later and not have to record this podcast.
It's also hot as fuck in Chicago today. So, like, the idea of drinking and then coming over here in the heat and then recording and then going back out kind of sounded like hell, like a miserable hell. So we're not doing that.
So we're not doing that, which also means that we are not talking about Lucha Underground this week because that is on tonight.
Yep, and we do not exist in the future. So
the future.
Sorry about it.
How are you?
I'm good. It's, again, very hot here. It is miserably hot here. I mean, it's miserably hot everywhere because we have global warming.
LOL. The number one reason that I am afraid to have children. Global warming.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I know other people who feel that way as well. It's not a weird concern.
Nope. What's that book we read where the end was like, oh, too real?
Oh, David Mitchell wrote it. He was the same guy who did
God,
Cloud Atlas. He was the same guy who wrote Cloud Atlas.
It's up there, but the script is so tiny. Something about a labyrinth? A maze?
I have it on my fucking... The Bone Clocks!
The Bone Clocks.
Yes.
The Bone Clocks ending is so realistic and terrifying.
It's a great book.
It's a great book. It is a little confusing. So if you're going to read it, buckle up and just pay attention. But
or
the ending...
listen to the audiobook, which is what I did, which I found was a lot easier.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The ending was like, oh, now I'm terrified.
Yeah.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Cool. This is real. This is going to happen. Everybody buy a solar panel. Woo!
I mean, maybe. That doesn't mean you're not a target.
Yeah, that's true. Wah, wah, wah.
Anyway,
so you're
the
hot.
Bone Clocks is really good. Yeah, it's really hot. Other than that, my friend Nicole is visiting. She's staying with us, or she's been staying with us for about a week. And then she'll be in town for another week, and then is going to the Philippines, and then is coming back for like another week. And then she and Michael are going to Vegas together. So I get 3 days by myself. And I'm really excited about that coming up. We were like talking about everything that was going to go on when she was here. And I was like, oh shit, I get 3 whole days by myself in this apartment? Awesome. So I'm very excited that these plans have been like basically presented to me of like, here, Erin, here's a staycation for you. Like, thanks guys.
Thank you so much.
I really appreciate it. So I'm looking forward to that. Other than that, like nothing. Like nothing has been going on.
Nothing.
How are you? How are things?
I'm okay. I went to Michigan to see my family this week, my cousins, who Nick was like, wait a minute, they're not your nieces and nephews because they're younger than me. And I was like, do I have siblings? They are my cousins.
Oh my God.
Did you forget that I'm an only child? I don't know how you could. So that was nice because I haven't seen them in a while. And I hadn't met my one cousin yet who's like 3. So it was like, hi, Abigail. Nice to see you in person. She was obsessed with Nick. It was really funny.
That's
just like followed Nick around. Nick is very good with kids too, so it's very cute. I went wedding dress shopping with my grandma who has type 2 diabetes, so she can't come down this weekend when we're doing more wedding dress shopping. And if you don't know, I'm getting my wedding dress made by 2 very good friends of mine. It's going to be very special, blah, blah, blah. But I still wanted the experience of trying on wedding dresses. Also, as previously stated, I'm an only child, so I wanted to give that experience to like my mom and I did not have fun. I did not like it.
I don't know why you thought you were going to like that.
I like walked out of it and I was like almost crying and I was like, I need a drink. And I texted Nick and I was like, that wasn't fun. I can't wait to do it 2 more times. Okay. La 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 la.
When you told me that you had like planned this, I totally get it. I understand why you did that. It's a very nice thing for your family, but also like I cannot believe you agreed to do that.
Yeah.
I can't believe you set up so many too. Megan only had one.
Okay,
I didn't do any.
Why do you think I didn't have fun?
I think that it's, well, having been to them before and myself having opted out of it, because it's very stressful in that moment to have someone who is working commission, who like really needs you to buy a dress.
Yes, that I felt so guilty. I kept like looking up like, is this person also getting salary?
Yeah.
I was like, can I know the pay structure of this place? My mom tipped her. I was like, give her some money, please.
Yeah, that's smart.
Give her some money.
That's really nice. That's a good move to do. Because, yeah, you're working with a person who's working commission who, like, really needs to sell you this idea, if nothing else.
And it's not like, you know, I'm going to feel less bad, I think, when we do it, like, downtown Chicago in this, like, really ritzy place. I felt really bad doing it in, like, mid-Michigan. I was like, ugh, fuck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But you, like, have that environment, and then on top of that, you throw your family into, like, your family feels a little more differential towards you than I think that, like, my family does towards me or towards my sister. But also, like, you did ask them there to give you opinions, and it's like, oh, great, now I know all of these things that you don't like. Like, it's just a weird experience.
Okay, the guilt thing, yes, for sure. This is what I experienced. Everyone knew that I was not buying a dress going in, except for, like, the woman who was trying to sell me a dress, obviously. That was guilty. So everyone knew, like, give me your opinions, all this stuff. But even knowing that there was a couple dresses that people like really liked, and my mom at one point was like, I'll buy that right now. And I was like, can you stop?
Yeah.
Can you stop? You know that's not what we're doing. All of the dresses that this woman was bringing me were very different than the one I'm having made, because the one I'm having made is very unique. There's not a dress that I can really try on that's like it, because it's like a Frankenstein of all of these other dresses and like kind of very couture looking. Like it's not just an off the rack dress. So it's hard for me to try on a dress that like would give me the idea of something that I'm going to buy. So I was being put in all these dresses that are very drastically different than what I'm looking for. And the biggest problem was, and I don't mean to flip my hair, but they looked really, really good. It's like the really tight ones. I have an hourglass figure and they like really emphasize like my butt. I was like, God, I have such a good butt. I was like really into my butt. It was like a little inappropriate in front of my family just to be like grabbing my butt a bunch. But I had this crisis where I was like, in my head, I know I want this dress that my friend is making because she designed it based on my parameters. Like I designed it with her. Like we talked, like this is the dress I want. But being put into a dress that is so different, but that I looked really good in, made me like second guess a bunch of stuff. And my brain and my body were like doing two different things. And it was just like emotionally overwhelming because I was like, no. Also, this dress that I like is really pretty and I look good in it, but also like doesn't match any of the bridesmaids' dresses, doesn't match the wedding. Like, no.
Yeah.
Stop.
That's kind of the nice thing that you've already like done more of the bridesmaid stuff, so like you have these parameters you have to work inside of now. You can do whatever the fuck you want, but
I
like
can do whatever I want,
inside of your own vision you kind of can't change something like that drastic, because it's a centerpiece.
And I told the woman, and I even believe this, like if I didn't already have this dress that I am having made, and it's hard because like I don't get to try that dress on, but I also trust the people who are making it, and I do get to try in a mock-up and all that stuff. But I said to the woman, I was like, look, I really love this dress. I look good in it. It's like absolutely within my price range because it was the cheapest one I tried on, which was also like messing with my head. I was like, oh God, this one, like I could pay for this one right now. Like this is confusing to me. Which is part of the reason my mom was like, okay. And I was like, no, stop. Like it's still expensive because it's a wedding dress and it's like a ripoff, but like it was the cheapest one I put on. I was like, I'm confused. But I told her, I was like, this is so drastically different than what I envisioned myself in. And even though I feel really comfortable in it right now, I cannot buy this because I have a feeling that I would regret it. So I'm going to walk away. Thank you so much for your time. Here's this weird tip from my mom. I just can't handle this. Bye. I'm going to like really bougie places in Chicago because I was like, if I'm not buying a dress, please put me in this $10,000 dress. I want to prance around in it.
Right. Absolutely.
Also, if I fall in love, like I literally can't buy this. So whoops.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'll be, I feel like this round will be like a little bit easier to do. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, I have to do it 2 more times. Wedding dress shopping is dumb.
Oh God, I still can't believe that. I mean, you know what happened with my dress. I did sort of the same thing. I had a dress picked out that I really wanted. I was really excited. I'd been thinking about it basically since we like decided to actually get married. And I ordered another dress I was going to wear it for the wedding rehearsal because it's like an ivory cream color.
That it was $30.
And it was $30 and it came and I put it on and I was like, oh, I'm going to get married in this dress. So it was kind of the same thing where it was like I had this idea of what I really wanted and I tried this other dress on and was like, if I don't wear this, I'm going to regret it now. But part of it for me was like, it cost $30. The crinoline that I wore underneath of it cost almost as much as the actual dress.
Ridiculous.
The hair comb I wore in my hair did cost more than my dress. But like, I totally get it. I understand that feeling of like, I had this very specific vision in my mind and now I'm confronted with something else that I like a lot, but is it gonna,
not my vision.
Am I gonna pine for this thing that I had created and am now abandoning? Like,
and I can't do all my cool like wrestling moves that I want to do and wrestling poses I want to do in a really tight dress.
That's true.
I have designed a dress that specifically I can do things in.
Smart.
And it's also like unique and custom. Like how many people can say my maid of honor designed this and my costumer essentially who like has made all of my beautiful costumes is making it. Like that is super unique.
And it fits you.
It literally will fit me. And also the thing with wedding dresses, like you pay $1,000 plus for one, and then you have to pay $1 billion to get it fitted to you.
God, yeah.
Whereas like I'm getting one made, yeah, it might be a little bit more, but it's not going to be that much more, and I don't have to get it all hemmed and shit because it's getting made for my body.
Yeah, exactly.
So it ends up being around the same anyways.
I wish my sister did that. She got a dress that was like $1,200, and then by the end of it, with like all the shit she had to buy, like the veil and the tiara to put the veil in her hair and the shoes and the like handbag and all that shit,
And the hemming
and the hemming, like the hemming was an additional $1,000, so she wound up paying like she did wind up paying more than $3,000 for her dress. It's like, why?
No.
Why would you do that?
Why?
No, thank you.
No, I'm just looking at the sketch of the dress just to like remind myself that it's beautiful and that I love it.
I mean, it's really cool. I like it a lot.
It's a cool ass dress.
It's gonna look great.
It's a cool ass dress, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I have a great butt for wedding dresses.
Yeah, naturally.
What wrestling shirt are you wearing?
I'm wearing my Dean Ambrose tank top because I miss Dean Ambrose.
And it's hot.
And it's fucking hot outside.
Did all the like double doses of Roman just make you miss Dean?
Yeah, it really did. It was funny. I was watching with Nicole, and I think it was Nicole. She asked me because they're pairing Roman with fucking Bobby Lashley, and like that whole storyline is just not working for me at all. I understand what they're doing. I'm just like bored with both of them. And Nicole asked me, she was like, "Who would you pair Roman with that you would be excited to see him?" Is there anyone that could work? And I think the only person is Dean Ambrose at this point. Like, put Dean Ambrose back with Roman and I will be excited to see Roman. Yeah, like, I just miss him. And there are rumors that he'll be back for SummerSlam and that he's like he's been out forever.
Yeah.
So
I miss him too.
I want him to come back. I want him to be able to be around his wife more. That would be nice.
His wife.
Yeah, I miss jeans. What wrestling shirt are you wearing?
You took a weird pause, so it just sounded like you went, what wrestling shirt are you wearing?
I was talking like Bobby Lashley.
Was that
we went to the
intentional?
same acting school.
Look, everyone keeps getting on my dick about this, but Bobby was doing great in Impact and was cutting good promos.
He's a really good heel. He's a fucking awful baby face. Truly bad.
Well, they're also making him the mean baby face, which is hard.
It makes no sense. I know, it's so stupid. And it's weird because he's like, he's not wrong about the things that he's saying. So it's like, are we supposed to be booing him, or do you want us to get over him on him? Is Roman? I don't get it. Like,
somebody was like, well, I think the threshold for Impact is just so low that Bobby seemed good. And I was like, no. Impact has been good. Screw you. Bobby was doing good while other people were doing good, while it was a pretty good show.
Yeah.
He can do it.
Also,
he cannot do it within the like parameters that they're shoving him in WWE.
It's also funny to me that people keep saying that Impact is bad and has been bad forever, when like the people who are in WWE now are the people who were the headliners of Impact like 8 months ago. Like, obviously they were doing something right, and the fact that they got scooped up and WWE was like, stop being on television for other people. Like, it's just bizarre. I also like the more and more people I see talk about wrestling are like, do I have to get into Impact now?
Yes, you do. You dummies.
I mean, rightfully, you did abandon it for a little while too.
For like a month, because it was
trash.
Well, I abandoned it for Alberto. I was like, I can't handle this bullshit. Yeah. There was other good stuff going on, and I came back for the other good stuff. Yeah. And then he fucked it up, per usual.
Per usual.
Per usual. I am in my pajamas still.
Yeah.
Because we were we are recording in the morning time, and it's my house. We record at my house, so why am I going to shower? Like, that's ridiculous.
Duh, obviously.
But I did sleep in my Seth Rollins sweatpants. So although my sweatpants don't really technically count anymore, I did wear them to bed, and I am still wearing them.
I think your sweatpants count, just not the Sasha Banks one, because those were the ones that you wore all the time.
Burn it down.
That's why I can't actually see your sweatpants, so I thought that's what you were going to say, is that you were wearing your Sasha Banks ones.
I woke up and I was like, oh, which ones am I wearing? And then I looked down and I was like, these ones work. These work.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Seth has been doing a good job.
Seth's been doing a very good job.
Also,
We're 2/3 of the shield right now.
2/3 of the shield. Just not Roman.
We're the two that matter.
I think it's funny that everybody hates Roman Reigns, and he's just like, he was in like 5 segments.
I know. It is kind
two
of
matches.
It's
like
brilliant.
3 backstage segments. The opening of the show.
Yeah, it's bananas. It's like,
there's a rumor that they're trying to make him I swear to God, this is a quote, cool heel.
what?
Roman's a heel, but he's like, cool.
Like The Rock?
I guess.
Yeah. Duh. Isn't that
so cool.
literally what people have been asking for?
Just give him sunglasses. Also, I made this tweet that was like a joke because I obviously wrote Roman Reigns as like a vampire in my dumb novel that I never finished for NaNoWriMo. I'm going to finish it this year, or at least continue it. I'm a fan of it. I'm never going to let you guys read it. I made a joke like, we should all just start pretending that Roman Reigns is a 500-year-old vampire, and then everybody will have more fun watching the show. And then Henry T. Gacy was like, but why does he wear that vest? And I like, all the light bulbs in my house went on, and I was like, so he doesn't get staked in the heart, guys. This is canon.
That is the best reason I have ever heard for him wearing that stupid fucking vest, too. Oh my God. Have you noticed that the one he's been wearing the last couple weeks, it's like
bright green?
That bright green one, it's a little too tight. Just a little bit.
Well, I don't know.
I noticed it last week and was like, what is happening?
Nick, because he's like a fitness guy, has always been like, Roman's off his cycle because he looks chubby now. Oh, Roman's back on his cycle. He's like, I think Roman's just in his like Roman chubby phase right now.
Okay. That makes sense.
You know, his quote, not steroids.
I like
Roman's having a fat pants day. That's his fat vest. The green one is the fat vest.
It's not forgiving. I don't know why you would choose that one.
I do like what they've been doing with Seth and Dolph and Drew. I think it's working. Like, I don't love Dolph Ziggler, but I like seeing Drew interact with these like top guy names, but they obviously don't have a place to push him right now, but it seems like they want to use him but not waste him, so they're almost like...
I see what you're saying. I feel like, yes, it is working because it's making, like, we get to see Drew more, which is good. And
he's looking strong.
He looks strong. He moves well. He talks well on the mic. But I think part of it is that because he's in this tag team, they're also having him limit his moveset. And so I think is having the Bobby Roode problem of, like, everything reads kind of bland because they just don't let him do a lot. And when he does do things, it's a lot of the same stuff. But it looks good. It's just not the variety he would have as like an active fighting person.
Right. Well, hopefully, like when they let him do a singles push or they do push him or whatever, like people will be like, "Whoa," because they'll let him do other stuff.
Right. True. There you get that factor, but I feel like it's hurting him to still be with Dolph because every time I see Dolph, I kind of check out.
Yeah, I get that. But the thing about Dolph is like he is a good wrestler, so like I don't necessarily check out. It depends on who he's wrestling because he's wrestling with Seth. And Drew is there. And, like, I don't mind Roman in this storyline. Like, I'm not really checked out because I'm interested in what's going on.
I think storyline-wise, I can say checked into it. Like, I can deal with Dolph because he is a good heel. He's a much better heel.
Deal with Dolph.
I would much rather deal with Dolph as a heel than deal with him as a shitty babyface. Like, I've said that for a while, and so I'm a little more on board with that. But also, I was talking to somebody else about this earlier this week, that when I watch Dolph wrestle, like, Dolph is good, but Dolph always feels to me like, I mean, we've said this a million times, you can tell he thinks he deserves more, and so he kind of doesn't give a shit. He reminds me all the time of when Shawn Michaels had to fight Hulk Hogan and was like a cartoonish buffoon about it because he was like, I'm so angry that I have to do this, that I'm going to remind you that I'm way better than you by being comically exaggerated.
Now?
Yeah, I really do. Like, especially watching him fight Seth, where he's like, it is beneath me that I even need to be doing this. And it's weird because I feel like I don't even know if he means to do it anymore. I feel like it's just so ingrained in him as a wrestler that he like can't not
oversell.
Right, exactly. And it's like he's he feels like he's been slighted for so many years in a row that that's just how he wrestles now. Like Randy is the same way, where like I'm so much better than everyone
Randy
else.
blows.
I can be lazy, and so now
See,
he just
that reads
is
for me
lazy.
for Randy, but at least right now for Dolph, it has read for me like that in the past and in the recent past, but it's not reading for me like that right now.
Yeah,
But Randy, it's just like, go home.
yeah, exactly.
Randy, get
It's
out of
like,
here.
oh yeah, you were one of the best wrestlers in the world, and you just caked this bitterness into your wrestling, and now that's who you are as a wrestler. Like,
Go home, Randy.
just go back to your home.
Stay away, Randy.
We haven't seen Randy in a minute. I had not realized that until right now.
Yeah, stay with your sea witch, Randy. Stay out. News.
News.
Did you know that Lars had a broken jaw? Because I didn't until I watched
What?
NXT.
No.
Yeah, you said you watched NXT.
I guess I just ignored the Lars Sullivan segment.
It wasn't a segment. It was kind of like the Alistair and Ciampa did the thing, and then the announcers talked about it, and then they showed a X-ray. Like he finished that match with a broken jaw, which is probably why it kind of fell apart, because that motherfucker has a broken jaw.
No, I totally zoned out of that segment. I was like, oh,
Yes,
Lars, I don't need to listen to this.
Lars has a broken jaw,
All right, well,
which like you gotta respect him for like finishing it with a broken jaw.
yeah. That also makes a lot more sense
Why he was like, "Don't kick my face."
yeah, exactly. Like, oh, you were close enough. I'm just going to fall over.
Please don't kick my broken jaw.
I also, I bet he probably felt like he did get kicked because he heard the slap and his jaw was already broken. Like,
Right.
whether or not he hit me, I'm fucking going down. So yeah, all right, that does make me respect him more. Will his mouth be less weird when he comes back because they have to reset his jaw?
Hopefully.
Whew, that'd be nice. Just make his mouth just a little lighter.
Ruby Riott is also injured.
Yeah.
She has a sprained MCL.
Yeah, which, I mean, she doesn't need surgery yet. They
So,
have to
knock
run
on all
more-
the woods.
Yeah, they have to run another MRI on it to see if it is going to need surgery, but right now they don't think it's going to need to. I hope she's still going to be out for at least a couple weeks.
But at least the Riot Squad was still doing stuff. Like
Yeah.
they had that really fun segment with Elias, which was really fun.
It was bizarre. I
liked it that he was like, I'm not going out there, so you can see him at least, because they obviously don't know what to do with him right now after they pushed him so mega hard.
Yeah.
You still get to see his weird music. And I like that at first they were like, music? Oh, let's destroy stuff to this music. And I also like that they had that like polite heel moment where they were like destroying stuff and he was like jamming and they started to walk away and Liv turned around and was like, thank you.
Yeah, that was
And I was
nice.
like, I like when heels are nice to each other.
Yeah, I agree. It's like when Seth Rollins and the New Day were friends. It's like, oh yeah, you guys all have the same evil objectives, and so you can be like a council of bad guys.
Thanks for our evil music that we can destroy shit to. Bye.
Bye. Yeah, I liked that. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, Bray Wyatt was also in a car accident.
Yes, that's what I was following up on before we started. It was a 3-car head-on collision, and Bray was at fault because he wasn't paying attention while he was driving. And they didn't say why. They didn't say what was going on, but they...
Probably was on his dumb phone.
Well, it could be that. It could be any number of things. He could have fallen asleep at the wheel. He could have been getting a blowjob and wasn't paying attention to the road. It could be a million things. But he's fine. Like, he walked away from the car crash, but he completely totaled his car.
Are the other people okay?
I think so, yeah. They said the ambulances came and took some of them to the hospital, but I don't think if someone had been killed,
we
we
probably
would know. I have a feeling we would know right away.
Well, they also let Matt wrestle and continue the B team storyline, which is good that these people were injured in different ways, obviously, but that they're part of factions or teams and they continued those storylines.
Right, they didn't just abandon them like they've abandoned the bar.
And it was, oh no, Nick even brought them up. Nick was like, where's Sheamus? Or no, Cesaro, because Cesaro had a heartbreak tweet because Switzerland got bumped from FIFA. And he was like, where are the bar? And I was like, ugh, literally doing nothing.
Yeah, exactly. When they listed all the teams that the Bludgeon Brothers had beat, they didn't even list the bar. They're not even including them as like active members of the tag team roster.
Womp, what ump.
Literally moved them over from Raw to do nothing. Nothing.
That's terrible.
It's so stupid.
But
I almost wore a Cesaro shirt today because I was like, I'm so sad. I haven't seen Cesaro in like a goddamn month.
But we did get that really fun segment with Bray and Axel and Bo, and then a really good match from Bray and Axel. Axel showed up on Raw.
You mean Matt and Axel?
Yep. We were talking about Bray and then the Woken. Matt
I was
and
like,
Axel.
did I
Nope.
seriously misremember something?
I just appreciated. At first, I thought it was weird, but I just appreciated that we like knew their tag partners were not going to be there. But Liv had this match with Ember. I thought Liv did good. Ember obviously kicked ass in that match, but I thought Liv held her own, and I do really like Liv Morgan. And then we got to continue the storyline with the B team, which I obviously love the B team. And seeing Matt and Curtis Axel wrestle, like, that was nice. And the fact that B team won again.
I know. I love this weird little hot streak they're on. And, like, Matt can take all kinds of weird losses. Because he literally just gets up and applauds them. It's like, good job. You had a wonderful match.
That one he was upset, though. He, like, was on the ring ropes like, what is happening?
Well, last one, too, where he, like, that slip off the ropes is still just the weirdest thing to me. It was such a weirdly coordinated thing last week to have him win that or to lose that way, and then so I feel like this week follows up where it's like they're gonna have the rage, but I mean, like, just in general, Matt can take losses because he has this character that reacts that way.
For sure.
Other news: Big Swole and Cedric Alexander got married this weekend.
Mr. Swole,
Mr. Swole. Good year for Mr. Swole. Let's get real.
Good year for Mrs. Swole too. She's been wrestling all over.
Mm-hmm. She's crushing it.
Also, their kid is so cute.
They're such a beautiful couple. I'm
so happy for them.
They looked great. She looked beautiful.
Yeah, she's the best.
Love her.
Big Swole for life.
Yes.
I guess the other thing. Oh, Nikki and John are just friends.
But she said that he's still the person she wants to spend her life with, but right now they're just friends. Like, what the fuck does that mean?
She's working on herself. And he's in China filming a movie.
So they're just, like, long-distance friends?
Yeah, I guess.
Isn't that the exact same thing as being in a long-distance relationship?
I don't know, bro. They're just friends. There was a whole video about it.
Whatever. Whatever. Oh, one final piece of news, too. Deonna Purrazzo is out of All In. She hasn't officially signed with WWE yet, but there's a reason that she pulled out of All In.
It does seem like WWE is like targeting All In.
Oh,
there's lots of rumors of them trying to like destroy All In.
They for sure are. I mean, Cody has not been quiet about it. Also, it's like, well, if you want to be sitting backstage doing nothing, you can do that, or you can come be on All In. I don't know why anyone would choose this other thing. And then like 2 days later, Deonna Purrazzo is like, I'm out. Sorry.
Yeah, but he also said nice things about her.
Yeah, no.
Like, you'd be lucky to watch her wrestle wherever she is. Like, he did say nice things about her specifically,
but did take the time to like make a jab at Triple H in that same tweet.
Oh, for sure.
Like that. I can understand how he's bitter about WWE and still feels happy for the wrestlers who are like making more money.
I feel like we feel that way all the time. When
Absolutely.
Like people we love get signed, you're like, but yay, but fuck.
Yeah, exactly. Like, congratulations. I hope that you save all of this money for the next 2 years.
And I hope it works out. Like, it does work out for some people.
True, it totally does.
If it doesn't, we'll love you when you come back.
Yeah, exactly. Almost universally, that's true. Like, oh, you win. It's weird because I feel like when Colt Cabana left WWE, people were like dicks about it, and that's like part of his journey that he had to like overcome. But he
also like helped to like, I feel like, start the.
Well, yeah, absolutely. That's what I mean. It's like it's so weird to see how much has changed since then in this like new environment of indies where people leave and you're sad, but then when they come back, you're like, yeah, you fuck the man. Like, we will put you over because they wouldn't. Like, I like that. I think that it's an interesting new evolution of like the independent scene.
I mean, think about what's happening with Kimber. Like, that's exactly happening.
That's what I was
her.
thinking of. Absolutely. Like, and with Austin Aries. Like, he was very popular in WWE and did feel like he left very quickly or like suddenly and out of nowhere. But like, the indies did re-embrace him.
Belt collector.
Yeah. And even like Simon Gotch, who didn't do shit on WWE for a long time because he and Aiden English were saddled with a terrible gimmick. Like, he's wrestling all the time on the indies and is like booked very regularly and still works as a professional wrestler. Like, even like that, the indies totally embrace people who are like, oh yeah, fuck the man, whatever, man, welcome back.
Fuck the man.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're about to get into Impact, and Impact has partnerships with all these little indies. They also have a partnership with Rise. Rise is the women's wrestling show that is part developmental, but part just like a good women's wrestling show. And they're doing a lot of innovative things. They are, doing tapings in Chicago. So if you live, or in Naperville, but whatever, this weekend. So they're doing Rise 9 tapes on Saturday. And then the next couple episodes of Rise Ascent taped Sunday. We're going on the Sunday, we're going to the Sunday show with my grandma, weirdly. Whatever. She wanted to go. I said yes.
Whatever, it'll be fun. Wrestlers love old ladies.
Well, my grandma, like, doesn't smile ever, so it'll be weird.
Well, yeah, but that's like the old Southern ladies who would, like, sit up real close and, like, mean mug all the wrestlers.
We'll see what happens.
I feel like your grandma's the right... It'll be fine.
But Kevin Harvey, the owner of Rise, recently released a statement talking about how, like, they're trying a lot of new innovative stuff, but the following is not consistent, and like they started really hot, but they're in this kind of lull, and they don't know after this round of tapings like what's going to happen and all this stuff. And that made me really sad because I think every Rise show we've been to has been great.
Oh yeah, absolutely, universally phenomenal.
The Rise Ascent shows I just started watching because I finally have time, and they're really fun. Like the first episode has a great match between Shotzi and Kimber. I think it might be one of my favorite Shotzi matches. But I also think that there's this thing with wrestling fans and women's wrestling where people talk a big game about wanting women's wrestling and get mad when there's only one match on WWE and all this stuff, but don't kind of put their money where their mouth is and go support the women in other places. Like people are spending buku dollars going to fucking PWG and AEW and all this stuff, which AEW has some women's wrestling and like is building their division back up and things. So like that is good. But also like there are these incredible companies. Yeah, Shimmer is not the best thing in the world because it's like feels like you're in like an all day long seminar sometimes, but the matches themselves are really good. Also, if people aren't supporting them, how are things going to get better?
Right, yeah.
And Rise they've only been around a short amount of time, and from the beginning to now, like they've tried so many innovative stuff. They've gone to LA, they've gone to Japan, they like are doing tag teams, they're teaming up with Impact. They do a really good job balancing, bringing in younger talent and like giving them opportunities. And is it the best match I've ever seen? No, but it's people I've never seen before, and it's exciting that there's a space for them to learn.
Right.
And then you get to see people like Kimber and Shotzi and
Soraya
and Su Young and Mercedes, all these people, Taya, Rosemary's like one of the staples. We got introduced to Delilah Doom because of this. I'm going to be really sad if Rise goes away because people aren't supporting this like incredible women's company. And I don't understand. There's this like cry for women's wrestling, but nobody seems to take the time to support women's wrestling outside of the other shows that we already watch. Yeah. We want them to be in the shows we already watch, which agreed. Yeah. I want that too. Maybe this is not a good comparison, but I think about it maybe in like people who vote in only the presidential elections and like don't vote in the local elections, right? Like you get all hot and fiery about the big elections, but then you forget the midterms and you forget your local elections, which are arguably more important. Like
are more important.
Like why are you only complaining about WWE and like supporting that when there are other companies like Shine and Shimmer and Rise and Stardom and Sentai Girls and all of these other companies? Like, I know there's a lot of wrestling, but you should make time to bring in diverse wrestling if you really want diverse wrestling.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I understand too, like, accessibility is part of it. And so, like, if you're only watching WWE and your thing is, I want to demand more of their women's divisions, like, I totally understand that.
Right, and
like,
we should do that.
And we should definitely do that. But if you're already watching other wrestling and then additionally complaining that there's no women's wrestling in that, then yes, you should take some of that time that has no women's wrestling in it and devote that to women's wrestling. Like, don't just talk about it. Like, don't just complain about these other companies not doing it. Show them that you won't watch by not watching and seeking out women's wrestling. Like, I think you're absolutely right. A lot of people talk a lot of game about that. And it's like, oh, well, I wish that Ring of Honor had more women's stuff. We both talked earlier today. We both basically stopped watching Ring of Honor because it's not compelling to us. And they've been very clear that they don't give a fuck about the women, like straight up, because they have a belt now, like, and they still don't do shit with it. Like,
and you still have to like seek it out.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
have to like go watch it on their YouTube channel, which is nice that they put it up there. But the fact that they have a big platform, and again, we haven't watched it.
Weekly television.
We haven't watched it in a while, so if things have changed, fine. I will
give it another chance. But the fact that it does not feel that way at all, and it seems like a bunch of people still complain about how Ring of Honor doesn't have women's wrestling. Like, how long are we gonna let them hit us in the face? Like, they don't care. The complaints don't seem to matter to them. So even this like incremental change, like, okay, it feels very much like I've seen this talked about a lot because Trump and fascism, but there's that part in LOL that there's a part in 1984 where they cut the chocolate rations from 20 grams a week down to 10, and then they make the people inside of the agency go back and correct all the records to say it used to be 5. And so actually everyone got an increase of 5, but everyone knows that that's not how it really was. That's how it feels inside of Ring of Honor sometimes, where it's like, oh, well, we promised you that we'd give you a women's division. Well, you have a belt now, and you can go on your YouTube, which is more than you could do before. It's like, yeah, but you promised us all this shit that you don't deliver on, and then you expect us to forget. Like, I'm just done forgetting about it. And so I just am not prioritizing it.
Right.
Like, ever. I miss Dalton Castle, and that's basically
That's basically what I
it.
said. Yeah, like you can see a lot of the people that you like other places. I just mostly miss Dalton, and he's been injured, so like
it's unfortunate. So I agree. I totally agree with what you're saying.
So yeah, put your money where your mouth is. And if you're gonna come at me and say some stuff about like Shimmer's like DVD releases and stuff, I understand. Shimmer has some problems. I really do understand that. But Rise has been really good. You can subscribe to their Pivot Share for like $4.99, and on top of that, you can get a bunch of women's matches from AEW that are in their thing. It's just worth supporting.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Anyways, that was my little soapbox. Because when they released that, I got really sad. And I also think that I can do more too. And like, I'm trying to prioritize women's wrestling more. And now that I have more free time to watch, and like, you know, I'm just saying we should all put our money where our mouth is.
Yeah,
I agree. With your money, we talk about it a lot.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Impact Wrestling.
Mom.
Here are some things that I'll talk about really quickly. Rich Swann debuted. Fine. Whatever. Moving on.
Mm-hmm. All right.
He's there now. I'm accepting it and just like ignoring it when it's on my TV.
Yep.
OVE was at PCW and they took off Penta's mask.
I saw that, yeah.
Which led to Penta cutting a video package basically being like, at Slammiversary, hair versus mask, I will put my mask on the line if I get the opportunity to humiliate you and cut your horrendous hair from your head and show everyone how truly ugly you are.
Ooh. So Sami Calihan's about to lose his hair.
Thank God, though.
Thank God.
And then Sami obviously accepted, so like, thank God. Shave it all
Thank God. That's good. I feel like I haven't seen a wrestler who is clearly going bald who truly needs to cut his hair lose a hair match in a minute. We all thought it was going to be Baron Corbin, and he was just like, nope.
I will not be humiliated by you all. I would do it myself, thank you.
I also really want to watch Penta cut Sami Calihan's hair off.
Yeah. Sami, like, in his video response was, like, playing with it and stuff, and he was like, this hair has traveled around the world with me, and we're all, ugh, stop touching your weird hair. Also, Sami has, like, a weird little mustache right now. He still has a beard, but, like, the mustache part doesn't touch the beard, so it literally looks like, you know those mustaches where people draw them on to try and look like a Frenchman? Yes. It's just, like, a little line and a little line. He's got this, like, little Frenchman mustache on top of, like, a chin beard.
His beard is bad.
Truly awful in this moment. He was cutting that promo. I was like, is this the lighting? Is this the choice you made with your mustache?
I hope that Penta doesn't
it's like a little villain mustache. Like,
I really want Penta to not just shave off his hair.
Shave it all
Shave his whole entire head. Oh, the beard,
dump
the mustache.
Him in a vat of nair.
Eyebrows, gone. I bet he's trying to grow the full beard because he knows he's going to be bald.
Well, he has some work to do. He has some work.
I like literally can't picture him bald.
Well, we're gonna see it, hopefully.
Well, congratulations, Jessica. The time has finally come.
There was a segment, like a backstage video thing, where Katrina, I think that's her name, Katarina, whatever, Grado's girlfriend, who had a different name on Impact before, came up to Grado and was like, hey, babe, I have great news. I'm gonna wrestle next week. And Grado, hilarious, was like, you're a wrestler? And she was like, yeah, I like worked here before. I mean, I had a different name, but like, I'm a wrestler. And he was like, oh, I can't believe it. It was just like a really cute, because when she showed back up, a lot of people were like, so is she just a valet now? She has a different name, but like we all know who she is. Like, what is happening? And then in this like kind of throwaway segment, she was like, I'm gonna wrestle next week. And Greta was like, oh, what? What's happening? It was really funny.
That's such a hilarious way to address that too. Like, yeah, I had a different name then. Like, oh.
He was like, that's unbelievable.
I love Grado. He's so funny.
Too. There's a new tag team. It's called the Desi Hit Squad. It's one of the wrestlers that's been there before, and then another Indian wrestler, and then they have this manager. So they're new. I don't know a lot about them. I do know, I don't think they're supposed to be bad guys. I honestly couldn't tell, but the audience was booing them like bad guys, and I was like, am I uncomfortable because we're booing these people because they're brown? Or are they supposed to be bad guys? Because they're wrestling Z and E, who are good guys.
Yeah.
But also, what is happening?
Weird.
So I'm excited for more diversity, and Rajit is really good, and I want to learn more about these guys, but I'm also like, if we're bringing them in to be bad guys just because they're brown, I'm like not super cool with it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's a very WWE move.
It is a really WWE move. And especially since right now they have people who are Indian bad guys and it's like kind of a farce.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like we can bring in people of diversity and not make them bad guys. And then if they aren't bad guys and then the audience was just booing, it's like, come on. Also, this was filmed in Canada. I was like, come on, Canada, get it together. Unless Canada knows something I don't and they are bad guys, which also, it's all complicated. But anyway, there's a new tag team on the scene.
Well, all right.
And apparently their valet is some kind of big shot former wrestler in India. So
Cool.
there's like not enough about them yet
All right.
for me to know anything other than like, what am I supposed to feel?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They did a really good video package for Moose, kind of talking all about him. And then later in the episode, Austin Aries was interviewed by Alicia Tout, who does the music blog. Yeah, she's one of their people now, which is cool. Austin Aries was basically like, that's cool for Moose, but like, this is your second career. You failed at the other one. Like, I'm good at everything. Sorry.
Great.
So that was pretty good. The Eddie Edwards saga continues.
Oh,
He
God.
shows up at House of Hardcore, beats the shit out of Tommy Dreamer, bloodies him with a kento stick, just goes to town on him. And I had the thought, I was like, this is the effective way to show these segments. Don't show matches from these other companies because it's weird to watch them because you show them truncated and it's weird. Show like OVE and Penta, show a moment that happened and how that moment ripple effects into Impact. Show the moment that happened at House of Hardcore with Eddie and Tommy and how that ripples into Impact. That's a more effective way to utilize your partnerships with these companies.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
I was like, do this. I don't understand. And Moose followed Eddie out into the parking lot, and Eddie just had this broken kendo stick and was just like holding it. And it was like, back the fuck away from me, Moose. Get away from me. And Moose was like, I don't know what's happening. I have a lot going on. Ugh. There's a really good match between Desmond Xavier and Matt Sydal. Really, really good. That was a match I would recommend watching. I love Desmond Xavier.
So do I. He's
This was
always good.
A really good match. Matt won, but then Cage came out to try and fuck with him, but then Kong came out, and Jimmy Jacobs was there, and then Jimmy Jacobs and Matt did, like, the namaste together, so I think they're in, like, cahoots with each other.
All right. That makes sense.
Kong did a frog splash onto, not frog splash, just kind of like a splash, onto Cage. So it was just, like, two big guys just smushing each other. You know.
Wrestling.
There's a segment with LAX with them in the clubhouse where like King is on the phone and then the tag champs come in. They're like talking and then Conan comes in and gets in Eddie's face. And Eddie like stood up to him. And Eddie, I swear to God, goes, "Hey, I do tough things. I am tough. I don't need to take this from you." He word for word said, "I do tough things." And I was like, is this how you... I do tough things. You can't talk to me like that, Dad. I am tough. I just started cracking up at like 6 a.m.
That makes me think of that story about Kanye West where he's sitting around like listening to his own music and he goes, "My life is dope and I do dope shit."
Yeah, kind of. Hey, you can't yell at me. I do tough things. I am tough. I do tough things.
I am tough.
I do tough things. That was absolutely absurd. And he was so serious.
Oh man, that's so funny.
The big through line throughout the whole show is the first, it opens with Madison giving this terrible in-ring promo. Whoa. That video package a couple weeks ago with Madison was great. The match with her and Taya, not great. Follow that up with this weird in-ring promo. It was bad. You could tell the audience like wanted to be behind her, but they were like, "Oh, this sucks." And she was like talking about her daughter. It just like didn't work. It was so stiff and stilted and like why I came back, like I said before. And it was so bad. Thank God she was interrupted by Tessa because I was like, somebody fix this. Please. And Tessa came out and was like, "This has to be a joke, Madison. You're a joke." And I was like, please only talk from now on because Madison can't talk anymore. So then they kind of go back and forth, but they were interrupted by just like the lights flickering and Su Yung screaming.
Oh, great.
Not even laughing, just a ear-piercing scream. And then they were like, what the hell? But of course, Tessa hit Madison in the face because
That's what
Madison
Tessa does.
got distracted. So the main event was Madison versus Tessa. This started off as a really good match. Madison did a bunch of like quick, intricate pinning attempts, and then Tessa like couple big shots to the face, and then the back move she does. And then kind of from then on, Tessa was kind of dominating with a few shots from Madison. I say Tessa. From then on, Tessa was kind of dominating with a few shots from Madison here and there. But then just like in the Taya match, Madison hits like a move. She like did a quick crucifix pin. It was like, it had a lot of impact, the crucifix into the pin. But there was like no reason for Tessa to lose in that moment. Like the structure of the match was really weird. It just like ended. And I was like, what? Tessa was kicking ass this whole time, just like in the Taya one. Taya was kicking Madison's ass and then like one move and then Taya was down.
That's dumb.
It was dumb, which sucked because the match started really, really good and ended just kind of weird. So Madison wins, then Tessa obviously just starts beating the shit out of Madison.
Obviously.
Gets a chair, is about to beat Madison with the chair. And then Sue's music hits, and then Sue comes out with her 5 bridesmaids, and they're really slowly surrounding the ring, and Madison's laid out, and Tessa's got this chair in the middle of the ring, and is like, I want to be tough. I'm very tough.
I do tough things.
I do tough things. Is she coming out for me? Oh, no, she's not coming out for me. I'm just going to take my chair and leave. Because, like, Sue Young and her bridesmaids, like, surround the ring, and Tessa's, like, just sneaks out, but continues to hold her chair, like, almost like, don't come for me. I got this chair, okay? Let me leave. Obviously, when they're not paying attention to her, then they surround Madison. All the bridesmaids beat up Madison. Then Sue has the belt, and it's kind of over Madison. But then Allie's music hits.
Oh!
And Allie comes out and defends Madison and gets all the bridesmaids and Sue Young away. And Sue Young looks shocked, like, didn't I light you on fire in a coffin? Weren't you in a coffin? How are you back? So it was cool that Allie came back, and it made sense that bad guys versus the good guys in different ways. I am really curious to see how or why Allie came back and how that has implications for Slammiversary.
And Rosemary.
And Rosemary, the crowd was like chanting for Rosemary, but Rosemary's injured for these tapings, so she's not coming back. But Rosemary did have a follow-up tweet that was like, oh, her eyes seem different. So it's like maybe Allie's like possessed, but she was just wearing like jeans and a tank top and like looked normal. She didn't have any face paint or like blood on her or anything. So who knows? I'm very curious. Like I was excited to see her, but I also was like, but what about the magic?
Yeah. She's too pure. She just out-magicked the magic with her pureness.
Too pure. I thought this was an interesting episode. It set up a lot for Slammiversary. That one match between Desmond and Matt was really good. The Sue Young stuff is good. I like Insane Eddie Edwards. I'm like a big fan. I want to see Sammy's hair get shaved off. There's a lot going on.
I'm really excited for that.
So all people telling me that Impact sucks, eat my butt.
The whole list of reasons.
My butt looks great in wedding dresses.
And you can eat it if you want to complain about how Impact is bad.
But don't eat my butt.
I mean, yeah, you should only do that with consent.
And I'm not giving it to you.
Yeah, exactly.
So don't eat my butt and be sad about it.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. NXT.
I actually took notes about this week.
Wow.
I watched it right away and was like, I'm never going to remember this unless I take notes.
Aleister Black. He faced adversity. Adversity named Lars. I would say that Lars faced the adversity because he had a broken jaw. But sure, maybe it's different in Europe.
I mean, whatever.
I forgot what country you're from. I almost named one. I was like, I don't remember.
He's Dutch. He's from the Netherlands.
Yeah, I would have named the wrong one.
Fair. You're like, white people?
Denmark? Yeah, I don't know. How do you feel about Ciampa versus Aleister?
I like it. I think it's smart.
I do.
Also, like, we totally forgot that Johnny and Ciampa have only had 2 matches. Like, they're definitely going to have a third one. They each have one now.
But I like the idea of Ciampa being like, I'm done with you, bye. I'm going to go chase this other thing. And then Johnny just, like, shaking backstage. Like,
I got it. This isn't over till I say it's over. It's not over yet because I said it's not over yet.
He spit on my ring.
He took my symbol of marriage. And Candace is backstage like, yeah.
I'm moving on.
I appreciate that he wants to pursue his own interests.
But, like, I'm here for me. I feel like we've spent enough time with me and them, okay? So I'm going to wrestle. See how I won? You see that flip I did? That was pretty cool, right?
And yeah, I really liked that. It was like, when she came out to wrestle, it was like, oh, hooray, I'm so glad Candace is back. And then it was nice to get that follow-up of like, yeah, I'm done with this.
I'm here to wrestle.
If I don't get to wrestle Ciampa, I'm done with this. Yeah. So that was a nice addition to that.
Well,
but
also,
I'm like,
if they ever want to get to Candice and Ciampa, they have to build up Candice in NXT as a wrestler and a viable, viable
contender.
I was like, a contest? Look, it's early. Words are hard.
Yeah, because I feel like if she just immediately beat Ciampa, like, she would just drop into the women's division as champ. Like, how you follow that up? Yeah, I'm excited for Aleister Black versus Ciampa. They're going to have a great match that Johnny is going to interfere with so that Ciampa doesn't win, but, like, their wrestling is going to be great. And I like that Ciampa's weird little wave is just a thing he does now.
When Ciampa said the title makes Aleister Black, I kind of was like, he's not wrong.
I agree. I completely agree with that.
Whoops.
Like, Aleister's cool and is very badass.
And is really good.
He's a great wrestler.
Hot.
But
it is from the Netherlands, not Denmark.
But that is a thing that is, I think...
those are different countries. Okay.
Yes. Those are different countries.
To me, the Netherlands, like Denmark and Amsterdam, in my brain are...
Amsterdam is part of the Netherlands.
See, they're all one place. Honestly and truly, that little smash of Europe, I'm like, meh. Europe is one country, right?
It's that little smash of Europe over there. They don't have the same currency. It's fine.
Right? I don't know.
Like thinking of them as a smash of Europe.
Yeah. It's dark and you ride bikes and they're like...
It's dark.
It gets dark there, right? They have like a lot of long winters.
Have nighttime.
Don't they have like long winters?
Not any longer than the places we live.
It's not dark in Denmark.
It gets dark here at like 3:45. I don't think it's...
Well, I just assumed it was dark there.
It's not Alaska.
It's not?
No. It's not like Greenland.
Isn't there like one of those countries that is like socially liberal and is like into bikes and weed that is like depressed a lot because of like the darkness? I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. Do you mean like
Look,
Seattle darkness?
I'm very keyed into American politics and know a smattering about Europe.
It's possible that the Netherlands are dark and sad in the way that Seattle is, where it's like cloudy a lot.
Sure.
Because there's a lot of
the darkness.
Rivers and canals and shit. So there's a lot of condensation. I don't fucking know. It's not like Alaska, though.
Yeah, whatever. Dutch. He's Dutch.
He's Dutch. All of that to say, he's Dutch.
But is maybe not a great champion.
Well, I was going to say, I think that that's a problem they've had a lot with NXT champions, that they just expect the belt to make a champion, even if they're already good. Like, I feel like Cien was one of the guys who, like, made that belt in a way, because he and Zelina made him, and so the belt was, like, a nice addition to that. But, like, Drew was kind of the same way. He only had a month, and so it felt like...
he was there for, like, a second.
Right, and so it felt like, oh, you're only the man because you have this belt, not like you're the man and you have this belt.
Well, they clearly wanted to fast-track him, like, up to the main roster.
Right, exactly.
Again, also he got hurt.
But then, like, that's a side effect of having the belt be, like, you're not the man and we put the belt on you, and now you have to be the man. Like, Finn was great with the belt, but towards the end it was the same thing, where it's like, oh, you just have the belt.
Us.
Yeah, Samoa Joe was the same way, Nakamura was the same way, Bobby Roode was the same way. Like, we talk about
I think Bobby Roode did a good job with the belt. I don't want to, like, get into it, but I think Bobby Roode did a good job with the belt.
I think that the belt helped elevate his character in a way that the other people don't do with the belt.
And he rose to that, and he
did rise to the occasion
defined a character that translated well to the main roster, even though they switched it to a babyface. Like,
right.
I think the belt and him served each other in a way that didn't necessarily work for, like, Samoa Joe.
Right. It was like a reciprocal relationship with Bobby Roode, whereas it was just like, all right, Joe, we're putting the belt on you because we have to. And Finn, we're putting the belt on you because we have to.
Well, I feel like the first time he won it, it felt, like, magical and, like,
that's true. When he won
it
from Kevin Owens, it felt very, like, fresh and new. But then by the time he got to Samoa Joe, it was like, okay, I'm so done with this. And it's the same way when Nakamura won it from Joe. I was like, I'm already over this.
Right.
Yeah. Good for Ciampa for pointing out the terrible men's belt booking that's been happening. Like, it's weird because all these guys are great. All these guys are great and, like, do deserve to have the belts, but the NXT belt is just booked in a way that it's like, what is going on here?
Vanessa Bourne Hates pirates.
This was a really good promo.
It was a good promo. I was like, it is dumb.
It's funny because I was thinking of you and Carolyn from Heels and Heels because you guys have said the exact same things about her. Like, both of you don't really care for her. Both of you were like, what's the deal here? This is boring. She only does a couple moves. What's with the pirate thing? Like, and then so to hear Vanessa Bourne say it. I even know the context
of the pirate thing, and I'm like, cool. I don't care anymore.
Exactly. And so I thought that it was like, it was nice that Vanessa Bourne is, again, a bad guy who is right, where she's like voicing all of the concerns of other people. But what this forces Kyrie to do is to act outside,
do anything else,
to do and also to let NXT let her do anything else. Because again, a lot of this is management saying you have to do these specific things because this is what people want to see. Also, you only get this amount of time. Good luck doing literally anything else.
Good luck, bye.
Yeah, it's the booking of the matches themselves that's the problem for Kyrie because she is better than what they're letting her do. But this will help elevate her out of that like little box context, hopefully. And like Vanessa.
Oh my god!
What?
We forgot about Io Shirai signing to NXT.
Oh yeah! I just totally forgot about that. I did not write that
down. My
down.
brain was like, yeah, because I really liked Kyrie and Lucha Underground. She wasn't my favorite of the three. Oh my god, Io! Sorry, I totally interrupted you.
No,
that's
okay.
Like a big deal.
No, that is a big deal. I think part of it is like
she's one of the best wrestlers in the world, period.
And it's weird because she was like already signed and then got released because her neck was too bad and now magically her neck is better.
Again, I feel like it was a heart thing. But I don't want to talk about it. We already... Yep.
No, they released a statement that she wasn't signed because she had neck problems.
They also talked about a heart thing. Whatever, we've argued about this before. I don't care. She's there.
Well, yeah, but I think that's part of why I've like... Until I see her on TV, I don't really believe it. Like,
I don't know. They made a big deal. But they did like a whole like thing her in the ring with a suit on and like talking. Like they made a show of it.
That's true. Now I guess that's true. So now
like
it's
a video thing of it. Yeah, it's a real thing.
All right. Yes, it's very exciting. I'm really excited to see her wrestle more. It'll be good. Do you think she'll be a bad guy?
I don't know.
I'll be interested to see what they do with her.
It would be interesting if she was, since the other two Asian women that they brought in with like a name, like Asuka was never really a bad guy. She kind of turned into a dick near the end. But she was more of like an intimidating force. I would never say that she was a bad guy. She
was written like a heel because she was like lounging around the pool like I'm better than you.
As a heel kind of later. She didn't come in kind of as a bad guy. Right.
True.
And Kyrie obviously isn't a bad guy at all.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be an interesting and bold choice if Io came in and was like, hi, yeah, literally the best here. Mm-hmm, hi.
Yeah, that's true.
The best.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Have some diversity in the heels.
The Asian women that they bring in from other companies who are incredible wrestlers.
Yeah, exactly.
Kona Reeves is boring as hell.
Who is he? Am I supposed to know who he is?
He was a jobber for a while, and then he came back with like longer hair and a weird tagline and rings.
Okay.
Guess what? Gold jewelry does not make you a good heel. Everybody write it down.
Yeah, what? Was there like a seminar where everyone was given this information? Because all of a sudden everyone has gold jewelry. Also, like, please fucking practice taking your jewelry off before you wear it to the ring for the first time. Like, Leo Rush had problems with it last week. Kona had problems with it this week. Like, bitch, you gotta
Kona's worn it before, but like, still, like, if you can't get the rings off, don't wear them.
Yeah, exactly. Get rings that are a little loose. They're not gonna fall off your hand
while you're walking.
Yeah, exactly. Your fingers are already curled and your hands are up. Like, what are you doing? Just take them off. It just makes me so mad. It makes me so mad. Also, like, they kept talking about Kona like he was someone that we were supposed to be really excited about, and like, ooh, he's a badass now. And
he's a jobber who got repackaged.
Yeah, and I don't give a fuck about him at all. He reminds me of Sabatelli, and I'm like, you both suck. I don't like either of, like, your gimmicks are bad. I'm just not into this at all. Also, you're not the finest because Bianca Belair is the est. Why are you trying to make EST happen with literally anyone else? Like, you motherfucker, for real? That's all I could think of. Like, really?
That's such a good point.
You haven't been watching Bianca come out with the EST for like a goddamn year, and you're gonna come out as the finest? For real, bro?
She's the finest.
For real? Like, just because that's not one of the specific words that she uses in her intro, like, we're gonna all notice and think of her. Like, it made me mad. I was like, ugh, get your own shit. Ugh.
It's also just like a lazy, like, I'm rich and cool gimmick, which other people have.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we don't need this many rich, cool guys. Like, did everyone try and...
We have EC3, everyone let it go.
Yeah, like, did everyone try to, like, do this simultaneously? And they were like, okay, this group try to be this kind of character, and this group try to be this character. And it's like,
maybe.
The ones who rose
this
up...
works for me.
Yeah, are, like, the only ones that this is working for are the only ones who are rising up. And it's like, oh, wait, now there are 1 billion of you. Fuck.
What did you think of the Lacey versus Candice match?
It was the best wrestling I've seen Lacey do.
I thought she
liked that a lot better. I never want to hear her talk. basically ever.
She did a really good job in this match, but I really go back and forth. Some weeks I'm like, yeah, Lacey's doing a good job, and like I don't like her character, but like this week I was just like, I almost didn't watch a match because I was kind of just like not into Lacey. I was like, I don't like this.
Yeah, I would agree with. I like her as she's big. I think that's part of it. It's like I want to like her because I like that she's like big and muscly and strong. And she is intimidating, and I like the way that she moves in a way that I'm like, with more training in a year, you're probably going to be a very good wrestler. Like, you can just see how much better she's gotten.
For sure.
Even in the last like 6 months. But
the gimmick is so off-putting.
It really is, and it feels...
And distracting. It's distracting.
Yeah, like, it just feels like they threw a bunch of shit together that they were like, women! And so now she's just like... Her gimmick is, I'm women. Like, it's bizarre.
I am women.
And it's definitely less white supremacist now, which is good. I definitely appreciate that it doesn't feel like she's some creepy, like, stars and bars, I'm gonna beat your ass, weird fake patriot. Like, that. It doesn't read that way anymore.
Yes, thankfully.
But it still is in this, like, weird transition phase. I hope that this is, like, a Velveteen Dream situation where it's, like,
she'll figure it out.
You need guidance how to make this work. Like, her initial idea of this, like, pinup star works if you figure out how to make that work. If it's not just, like, open a dictionary and pull out synonyms to women. Like, that doesn't work. But that's, like, Dream originally. I'm a lady. That's like Dream originally being like, ooh, I'm Prince, but I actually think Prince is gay and don't really understand what Prince was. And then now he's like on the right side of that. It kind of feels like Lacey's moving in that direction. She just needs a lot more guidance. Like, there need to be people on that in NXT who are like, hey, you sound like a white supremacist. Maybe we should like clean this up and clarify it a little. So yeah. I think with that, in like a year, I might actually be very excited to see her. She just has a lot of work still to do. But this was the most I've ever liked her in a match, which was nice. It was nice to feel that way for once.
And Candice got to do stuff.
And Candice looked great, too, which was nice. And I feel like Candice really flourishes when she gets to get her ass kicked and then come back and have this, like, great rally.
For sure.
Because she's a wonderful baby face. Like, she just fits into that. She's so pure in that way. Like, she fits into that structure. And Lacey did her part. She really did, like, she did a good job of being bigger than her and looking like she was beating the shit out of her, even if it wasn't.
And not taking her seriously.
Right. And even if it wasn't necessarily, like, super clean all the time from Lacey, it made a better comeback story for Candice that, like, she's sloppy and I can come back from the other side of this. So, like, as a storytelling gimmick, I think it worked very well this time.
That video of Heavy Machinery being really mad while cooking meat was hilarious.
I fucking love that.
It was first I was like, what is Otis doing? And then there was like, oh, they're just grilling. They're like, their therapy is like anger grilling. They're like, I'm so mad I gotta cook some meat. It was delightful.
I love them. They're so funny. Otis is hilarious. He's so funny. Like,
he's just wrestler Chris Farley.
Yeah.
In like a good way.
In a totally good way. Absolutely. He's very focused in that same way. Like, he understands that character. It's so good.
I just feel like this show should just be renamed Mustache Mountain versus Undisputed Era because these matches are the best.
Yeah.
I feel like I could watch them wrestle forever.
Yeah.
They're like I actually want to watch them wrestle forever. Also, I'd never really been into Trent Seven, like, looks wise. Like, I get why people like him, like teddy bear, blah, blah, blah. But him with like the frosted, like, gray hair, I was like, oh, Daddy Trent. Hi, Daddy Trent.
I literally wrote that down. He is my appreciate this week because he daddied up in a way that I, like, cannot explain.
He literally looks like a real life character from, like, Dream Daddies or whatever that game is. Like, he
absolutely
looks like he walked out of that game.
He 100% does. It's incredible. He and Tyler Bate both, like, damn. Tyler Bate's, like, daddy in training. Like, he's already leveled up looks-wise and is like, I just have to get confident like Trent Seven. He's getting there.
Yeah. But also the matches that these people have been putting on are great. Kyle O'Reilly and like Tyler Bate, when they're in the ring together, it's just like, okay, forever. Let's just watch this forever. I love this. Oh my god, I love this. And also that move that Kyle O'Reilly did when Ricochet went to do like one of his flips and like went to flip through Kyle O'Reilly to do a pinning attempt, and Kyle O'Reilly just like took his hands and his legs and was like, I caught you.
Yes.
Now you're mine. Kyle
O'Reilly gives such good face. It is
new favorite gif is when Ricochet went to pin Adam Cole, I think it was, and then Kyle like
Yes.
pulled him out, and then Ricochet just looked at him like, I'm gonna murder you, and Kyle was like, I don't. Oh my god. New favorite gift.
So good. Also, there was a point, it was right before that, where Ricochet hits Adam Cole and he's about to pin him, and neither of them can see each other because they're face down with their feet pointed towards each other, and they both start twitching. Like, they both had the same instinct of like, this was such a big bump that we have to like really emphasize how much this hurts, and they both started like very realistically twitching, and I was just like, you guys are kings at this. This is so good. And Kyle O'Reilly's up there with that too. When you watch him take bumps, like the like aftershock twitch, he knows how to make that shit work. It's so good.
I remember like a couple months ago when we were like, Roddy, you're boring as hell. Like, Roddy works as a heel with these guys.
Him.
Like, it's so funny sometimes when I feel like sometimes they bring people in as either a heel or a babyface. Like, they're like, well, you were a heel in the indies, so we're going to switch it because you're going to be different at WWE. It's like, no, it's working because they're good at this stuff. Can you imagine if they like brought Adam Cole in as like a babyface? Like, it's working and people like it because they found their voice and they found their like style. Like, just let Roddy be a bad guy.
He's so good at it. Oh, he's so good at it. I enjoy watching him wrestle.
Also,
like,
that
really enjoy it.
Reveal of Mustache Mountain coming out with their jackets and then like slowly unzipping
Yes.
and being like, underneath there are belts. We're the champs. That was great.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And they looked so smug, like, oh, what's happening? Did you guys know? That was great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I want to see them all the time. Like, it's funny because I feel like the casual way that they've been using all three of British Strong Style, like, I feel no connection to them in NXT because it feels like, oh, you're just fly by night, you pop in during a takeover, whatever. Right. Like, I like them as the champions because I want to see them all the time. Like,
you care about them.
I'm in already. I'm totally in that they're gonna be around, and I'm gonna get to see them talk and goof around and do shit. Like, I'm really excited about that. It's awesome. Like,
sure.
I want to see Pete Dunne more. I want him to be around more. Like, we talked before about. It seems like with the UK division, why not just go see Progress? And I wish that they would just commit to signing British Strong Style. Like, it would make me sad for Progress and the rest of the UK scene. But, like, if you're gonna really use these guys, then do it. Commit to it. They obviously like them and know that they can work and want them to do well on these programs. So just commit to them. If you're gonna commit to them, I'm okay with them signing with this company. It's just that when you sign people and then let them do fucking nothing, like, people aren't into that. But if you clearly showed that you're committed to these guys, sign them. I want to see them all the time.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Did you watch 205 Live?
I only watched the last match, but I like read the rest of the synopsis.
I mean, there's not much other than the last match. They really gave that last match time to breathe, which is great because it was excellent. Mm-hmm. So the other couple things was that TJP opened the show and kind of was mouthy and like, oh, Drake Maverick picked my opponent again. He picked all my other dumb opponents. Who's it gonna be? Drake Maverick's so stupid. Oh, it's Noam Dar. Shit.
I'm so glad he's back.
Yay.
So glad that he's back.
Like, I almost forgot that he came back for the UK tournament. I was like, oh, yay, Noam.
Oh, I didn't even know he was in the UK tournament because I didn't watch that.
Yeah, he came back it was NXT UK.
Oh, okay.
But it was nice to see him. I was like a little disappointed that this wasn't an actual match because I feel like TJP and Noam Dar can have like a good program together. But it seems like they wanted to make Noam look strong. They wanted to piss off TJP because later in the episode Dasha tried to interview him and he just like pouted away and like kicked a door and was like a baby, which is perfect. That's his character. So I was a little disappointed that it was kind of a squash match, but I hope they develop it into a feud, especially because their characters are both like young
assholes,
yeah, in very different ways.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
It could be really interesting.
It's like American asshole versus Scottish asshole. That's really what it feels like. It's like ripe for a perfect program.
There was a match between Tozawa and a jobber. Mm-hmm. Tozawa obviously won. The whole thing was that Leo Rush came out and watched the match, and then afterwards Leo Rush got on a table and like shit talked Tozawa like, Tozawa, you're real good. You're real good at this wrestling thing, but like, you just don't have that drive and you just wait for people to hand things to you. Like, you're just kind of weak, and I'm here. I'm so good. I don't wait for people to give me stuff. I take what I need. Look at my gold chain with my age on it. I'm 23. That's such a good heel move.
It's so good. It's so effective.
Also, Tozawa versus Leo Rush sounds great.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It'll be a really good match.
It's time to feel the rush. Nick said something really funny. Leo Rush came out, and Nick had never seen it before. He was like, who's that? I was like, it's Leo Rush. He's very good. He's like 12 years old. And Nick goes, he has a weird old man face. And I was like, he does kind of have an old man face. He looks like a little Benjamin Button. Oh. He's only 23. Would you rather be young and have an older face or be old and have like a young face?
What? How do you mean young?
Like look like you're young. Look like you're a kid. There are some people who you're like, how old are you? And you're like, oh, you're like 35 because you look like you're 12. This is weird.
Oh, like that. I see what you're saying.
I'd rather have an old face.
I think I would rather have an old face too, because you age into that and people just give you more respect because they think you're older. But if you, especially as a woman, have a young face and people are like, oh, you're like 14, and you're like, nah, I'm a grown-ass woman. I have a child. Like, fucking dare you.
How dare you?
I bet that is just awful. I know a couple of women who look very young, and it's like, man, for a while people are like, oh, you're so lucky that you look young. And it's like, okay, after I have to pull out my fucking card for cigarettes at like 30, I'm sure it's not fun anymore.
Yeah.
Angela Lansbury. I want Angela Lansbury. She has always had an old face, and so she just naturally looked her age forever, like from 45 to 92, basically. She's looked exactly the same. So that's what I want.
There was a Cedric like video thing where he basically was just like, I'm champ for a reason. Look at me. I got married. He did not talk about getting married. But he just called out Hideo because next week they have their championship match. Mm-hmm. The week before Extreme Rules. So I guess they don't get to do anything at Extreme Rules.
No, they're not on. They're like officially no longer on pay-per-views.
That's dumb.
Yeah, it's very dumb.
Ugh.
It's super dumb.
Soup's dumb. But the main event was Mustafa Ali versus Buddy Murphy in a no DQ match, and it was bananas.
It was bananas.
I mean, it started off like good because they're good at wrestling, but then it just elevated. Buddy Murphy took the stairs apart and then
that was fucking bananas.
Set it in the ring and then like did a baseball slide and smacking Mustafa, but then like used the steps to like jump up and flip over the ropes. And you're like, whoa, that was crazy. How can we get this any crazier? Oh, we're going to stand it up in the corner and do a superplex off of it standing while the ref is like trying to hide the fact that he's holding these fucking wobbly ass stairs because you're doing it on the part that is not the bigger part.
Yeah.
Because you need the step part to stand on.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, it can't get crazier than that. Oh, you're going to do a Spanish fly off of the
Jesus Christ.
What is it? Like the crowd barrier.
The barrier, yeah.
Onto the announcer table, and the table's not gonna break. Holy shit, you guys.
I could not believe that table didn't break. That was
their faces were like, my body.
It's like when Charlotte had to throw Sasha into that table like 4 times, just like ragdolls off of it. Like, how did this not break with these 2 big ass men?
With Sasha, you're like, oh man, like, I mean, she doesn't weigh a lot, but like, it made it seem so much brutal and stuff, but it was like, how are you guys just...
Did they forget to rig this table
They're
this
just
week?
Like angels who are like, we fly. Buddy Murphy is like really good. Like we all know Mustafa's good, but like Buddy Murphy is good. And honestly, the height that they got on that Spanish fly, because Buddy Murphy was on the barrier and Mustafa like didn't seem like he had a lot of energy because he's like been beaten up all this stuff, and he just runs, jumps on the table, jumps on the barrier, and they got height on the Spanish fly. Yeah. Like they could have easily have been like too. So fast.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Yeah. They're both fucking great wrestlers.
Also, it was slick when like Mustafa got tied up in the ring, and those knees from Buddy Murphy were, I can't believe that he didn't win off of that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I like too that they like use the ropes. Like in a no DQ match, there's always this like, oh, I'm gonna reach for the. Oh yeah, that's right. They don't. It's like, no, we should like acknowledge that it doesn't fucking matter if you're in the ropes. Like I can beat the fuck out of you if I want to. Like it's really smart.
And his like smile when he was like, oh, you're tied up, I'm gonna kill you now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
It was an incredible match. It was so good.
They're both so good. And like I really questioned Buddy Murphy in this division at first, and like, man,
205 pounds, lol.
LOL. But like he is just crushing it. He moves like a cruiserweight, and so I understand why they're like, we can smudge the fact that you're clearly not 205 pounds.
It's funny because like when I like them as the tag champs, but like we all like them because Alexa was there and was doing a really good job and was a good manager. And to be honest, I can't really remember them wrestling. I don't even know who they beat for the title. I can't even remember. Oh, I think they beat the villain. I don't even remember.
Did they really?
I honestly don't even remember. And I don't remember them as wrestlers. I remember them as a faction. And I remember Alexa. So I have like really no
single match
context
that they ever did too as that group.
I have like no context in my head, even though I know I watched all of this for
Yeah.
Buddy Murphy as a wrestler. And then to him, you know, it was like, oh, I'm happy for this person to get an opportunity. Like, good for him for being on 205. Oh, shit, he's very good.
Yeah, super good.
I love watching him wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
And they have incredible chemistry.
And I like, too, that they're clearly playing with this idea that, like, sometimes he doesn't make weight and sometimes he does. Because, again, that feels like they're going to move him out of this division at some point. Easily move him out of this division. And he could fucking totally hang with anyone on either of the main rosters.
For sure.
Yeah, super easily.
I
would love to watch him and Xavier Woods fight. Yes.
That would be good. I want to watch him and Cedric fight again. Like, I want them to, like, loop back around. Like, that was... Because they both are, like, bigger for 205 Live.
Yeah, exactly. They're the two guys who both had to cut weight. And it felt like Cedric was going to weigh out of the division at one point and now seems to be, like, firmly established inside of it.
It might be... I mean, it will be interesting seeing what they do with Mustafa. Like, it felt like Buddy Murphy didn't win for two reasons. One, because if he wins, then, like, why isn't he in the title picture? Like, that's just going to feel weird. And two, they want to always establish Mustafa as, like, the heart of 205. The, like, hope. Like, he's the fucking Blue Lantern or whatever. But then that makes Mustafa Ali kind of in, like, a weird middle ground right now. Like, what do we do with him right now? Mm-hmm. So we'll see. Mm-hmm. But it was a good-ass match.
Yes.
'Twas good. Let's talk about Raw, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about Raw. We kind of talked about a lot of Raw.
Yeah.
On accident. We didn't talk about the counseling.
I was not watching when Team Hell No was happening, so when Dr. Shelby came out, I did not know who he was and was really confused why everyone was so excited. But, like...
Well, a lot of people weren't excited. A lot of people were like, this fucking guy.
Yeah. But,
it's very mixed.
I feel like, especially because Team Hell No is literally back right now, it felt very appropriate to bring him back.
Because in his office, like, there's like
a photo
framed
of them.
Picture, like, this was my success.
Yeah. So I liked that stuff.
I wanted it to be one segment. I didn't like it being broken up. That bothered me. And also, we're really dragging this counseling thing out over 2 shows.
Yeah.
It had like a 90s sitcom cliffhanger of him like yelling and then freeze framing to be continued. Like, I didn't enjoy that. I did enjoy Sasha and Bailey
pretending to be each other. I was just going to say, I liked that too. I feel like they kind of needed the 2 segments for that though, because if they had just immediately gone into that,
that's
like,
fair.
They had to like build this up and
the fact that it lasted all day, it's like, that's why they're not here, because they're probably still in counseling.
Yeah, exactly. And like the first segment was okay. It kind of predicated that you knew who Dr. Shelby was, and so that was part of it. And so like I understand how they were like, why they did that the way that they did. I agree that it like did not read super great, but that segment of them pretending to be each other and then fighting did work for me.
Particularly Bailey.
Yes, absolutely. I saw someone, I don't remember who it was, that pointed this out, that the difference between Bailey as an actor now, she could not have done that in NXT. The differences between Bailey being mad at Sasha and Bailey pretending to be Sasha, like she just could not have done that. She couldn't have cut that kind of promo 2 years ago, and it was great to see that. Like, it's nice to see Bailey let go a little bit, and it was nice to see Sasha be an asshole again. Like, I like it when she's an asshole.
I'm a baby. I love slap bracelets. I know she didn't say that, but it's essentially what she said. Yeah,
I'm the legit boss. I'll stab you in the back. It doesn't matter what you do, because I'm gonna stab you in the back. Like, which one of you is the heel? I'm so confused.
Which is kind of interesting. Like,
yeah, I like that we have this like weird glow on it. Like, you're kind of both assholes.
I feel like this particular segment did take some heat off of it. Like, it doesn't feel as urgent or exciting right now.
Yeah,
but like, we'll see.
I mean,
there's a lot of talk that lots of people think it's just going to end up on the pre-show of SummerSlam.
Damn, that would be awful.
What a slap in the face, right?
They're going to be at Extreme Rules, though, right? Like, they've got to have a match.
No, this Extreme Rules is pretty stacked right now.
It just makes so much sense to put Bailey on Extreme Rules. Like, it was Extreme Rules that fucked her up a year ago. She really needs that.
She's had a year of, like, torment.
Yeah, she basically needs this as redemption. And I'm like, I don't want this to be on the pre-show for that either, but if they're going to at least be able to do it, I want them to do it.
Yeah. Ugh. The other thing we really need to talk about is that porta potty. Oh, I guess we could talk about Revival winning again. That's important.
They're getting a fucking great
and they're
push.
looking good.
They
and
look great.
they mess with the other match, and like they were
get to be on TV
segments.
with Roman 2 weeks in a row. That's a big deal.
And win.
Yeah, and win, which is awesome.
Good for Revival. Like, please keep this stuff up.
Yeah, I love it.
But we need to talk about the porta potty. I'm going to talk about the fact that WWE didn't commit to having Kevin Owens covered in shit. They just had him commit. They just
blue paint. Yeah, what?
It's not blue paint. I can't believe nobody knows this stuff. I saw everybody being like, "What's the blue?" In porta potties, they have that blue enzyme thing in the bottom of porta potties because that's what like is supposed to like I think help with the smell, but also like eat the shit. Literally, like break it down. Like porta potties always have that blue stuff in it. How do people not know that?
Because they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, like I've definitely been to porta. Like if you go to like a sports,
yeah, in the bottom of the porta potty, like in the tank of shit.
No.
Do you really stare into the tank of shit a lot?
I mean, I look into it to make sure it's not gonna touch me. So
yeah, but like that stuff, like that's part of porta potties. Is like that's the blue stuff in there.
I've never seen that before.
Really?
No. And I've been in a lot of porta potties.
It's a part of porta potties. It's
No,
like
I did not know that.
Absolutely a part of porta potties.
That's so weird.
But it's like you're WWE. Like you can't commit to just like shit on him. Like also like obviously a lot of people don't know about the porta potty thing.
Yeah, it was really. I was like, why are you covered in blue paint? I don't get
Everyone
it.
was confused by it, so it was like really diminished what they did. Because nobody understood it. Also, like, that blue paint, or not paint, but the blue material, the, like, chemical mix, would have shit in it.
Yeah, and I guess it was supposed to be, like, a brand new porta potty that had never been used. Unless somebody just pissed in it. But, yeah, it did not read well. I did not understand that that's what that was supposed to be.
It kind of took a lot of the emphasis away from it.
Yeah, because he didn't look hurt when he came out. It was just like, oh, you snuck him out.
This weird stuff.
You snuck him out of here. You threw a bunch of blue paint at him, and then you put him back in here. Like it was not effective.
I'm gonna look up the thing. I want to know what it actually is. I always knew about that blue stuff. Deodorizer meant to help mask the smell that may be produced in a portable restroom. Every portable restroom provider is a little different, but most of them use a non-formaldehyde liquid deodorizer product in the tank, and it has this blue color. Blue is the color because it helps mask the contents of brown and yellow. Gross. Anyways, that's what it was supposed to be, but they should have just covered him in shit.
Yeah, that did not read very well at all.
I feel like when we're talking about Raw, it sounds like there were a lot of like good segments, but overall the show sucked. Like it's weird. Like talking about it, there were a lot of good segments, but I don't know if it was like the timing or the structure. But like I was sitting there like, it is only 8. It is what? Oh my god.
Yeah, once you get to the end of all of the Roman segments, like after you get through all 5 of them, it's like, oh, they told a really good, compelling story with this. It's just that sitting through all 5 of those segments when everyone's like, no, I don't want to see this person anymore, is very frustrating. And it's like, I guess I have to give them credit that they're making it work. They are making what they want to work.
Well, I think a lot of that stuff had Bobby Lashley and Roman in it too, and those two don't have good chemistry. And they did the Seth Roman part first, and then it was like, oh, now we have to watch Roman and Bobby, and like the revival's there, and they're kicking back, but also like, huh.
Also, it's super weird to have them then immediately rewrite the history of this match twice, where they're like, Bobby Lashley refused to tag in and walked away from Roman. And it's like, we all just watched this match where Roman refused to tag him and Bobby gave up, but immediately you're rewriting this history to be like, well Bobby abandoned him.
He was going to tag him then because he really needed him, but he turned around and Bobby wasn't there.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, because he treated him like a fucking dirtbag the whole match.
Yeah,
like,
who is the bad guy? Who is the good guy?
Exactly.
This is dumb.
And so it was like, I wish that they would have just committed to the like cool heel Roman thing where it's like Roman screwed himself by treating Bobby like shit, and so now he doesn't have a partner.
Yeah.
But they just immediately rewrite Roman's history.
But there were a bunch of dumb segments too, like Mojo and No Way, and then like
what is
the
the
Worldwide
fucking point of
Underground,
that?
or not
Yeah.
Worldwide Underground. I wish the Titus Worldwide and AOP, which was like a shitty throwaway match, and
Like it's nice to see both of those teams, but
also that porta potty segment took a long time,
a super long time,
and then
and
had
what a
like a
weird way
lame
to-
payoff.
yeah, and it was a terrible.
Kevin
way to
did a great
end
job
Raw.
in the whole thing.
Kevin has been.
Kevin is great. I
crushing
mean,
it.
that segment with Kevin and Kurt where he was like, "You don't even deserve Shania Twain tickets,"
so good.
but it was just it just felt clunky and not good.
See, I feel like when you say cool heel, I think of Kevin Owens.
Yeah, Kevin's a cool heel.
Even when Kevin is being like a frustrated, blumbering idiot heel, like he still feels very cool. Like there's something. Also, I really love that we got to see him pull up, and he was like basically dressed to wrestle, except he was in a different pair of basketball shorts.
Also, he was wearing a Baron Corbin like sweatshirt. His like
was he really?
his like clothing line.
I did not know that.
Or the clothing line he reps. I'm unclear, but it's clothing affiliated with Baron Corbin.
I did not realize that. That's really funny.
Oh, well, I totally skipped this. Mickey and Nia. That was good.
Yeah. Yes, I enjoyed that segment as well. And I
was like, buried next to Mojo and Noah, and I was like, I'm not talking about that.
Fuck that. Yeah, I
the match was good. I don't know if I love the segment.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that there were parts of the segment that I'm like, why is... Okay, I don't... Whatever. This is fine.
Because Nia basically just retold their story, and Alexa was like, that's what happened. I have this belt.
Yeah, it was very weird to basically be like, ha, in 3 months, we are literally back where we started. And it's like, should you be pointing that out to people? It just had this like really weird, like, yeah, you're right, but do you really want to be telling people that you're right? It was just very bizarre. And like, I really wanted Alicia Fox to be her partner, and it was Natty, so like Natty felt very disappointing.
You knew it was going to be Natty.
But I really wanted it to be Alicia Fox. I like didn't even think about the fact that it was going to be Natty, and they
have
have
last
this
week was Natty, and they're doing this Total Divas thing. Also,
I'm
sidebar, not that this is important at all, but I feel like Natty has looked particularly pretty lately. Hers with straight hair,
has been great,
and like her makeup's looked really good, and her whole like Natty's a good guy right now, and Natty like I hate that I'm going to say this, but like Natty has like a good guy energy, and she did a good job as bad guy, but like she just seems like delightful as a good guy, and like with her hair straight and her makeup, like I've been like, damn, Natty.
It's funny because after having been a heel, I like her more as a babyface.
Agreed.
I just still am like, oh, it's Natty. Like I kind of always feel disappointed because I kind of always want it to be someone else, but then she's a great wrestler.
Right.
And so it's like when she's wrestling, I really enjoy it. It's just that her character does nothing for me.
That's fair.
And so I just kind of always feel disappointed.
The same way I think that Natty is really like pretty as a face, I think that Mickie James is just hot as hell as a heel.
Oh my God, she's such a good MILF.
I'm just like,
unbelievable.
God, Mickie, you're so hot.
And I love too that she like has fully committed to ditching those terrible pants that she wore.
Well, she's still wearing terrible pants. I still hate that outfit, but she looks hot in it.
Well, yeah, but like you can't look hot in giant bell-bottom flares.
That's true.
Like you just can't.
You just can't.
You look like a weird fairy. You just cannot look hot like that. But she looks hot as hell in like
her tight, weird jeans.
I went to a country concert last night and fucked someone and did not change and came straight here.
And her hair like super big and like badass. Also, I did really enjoy this match between her, like her and Nia. The segment was not my favorite, but like Mickie took it to Nia. I don't even remember if Nia did a good job in this match, but Mickie kicked ass in this match.
Yeah,
and Mickie looked great.
It's just nice
as
to
a wrestler,
to see him wrestle.
Yes, but also because Mickey's hot. I just love Mickie James. SmackDown. I don't know if I would say that was good, but I think that it was fun.
Yeah, it was a fun show.
There was fun segments. Team Hell No trying, like, Kane being the voice of reason.
Yeah, I don't have an emotional attachment to this team.
Me either.
But I get it immediately. I totally understand why people like it.
Brian being like, you tried to abduct my wife. I tried. It didn't succeed.
You called my house and just breathed heavily for 20 minutes.
You're like a brother to me. You lit your brother on fire. Look, I am trying to make this work, Daniel.
I love it. Also, Megan of Hard Times Pod pointed out that Kane finally has a good weave. They finally gave him a good hairpiece. It's not so weird.
Gross.
But it like fits.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like it's gonna fall out the back of his mask at any moment. Like,
because we all know he's bald.
Yeah, he plays a bald character. Like, we all know that this isn't his real hair. And so I'm glad that they finally figured out the wig situation.
I also really enjoyed, for people like us who don't have, like, we obviously know Team Hell No, but like we don't have that emotional attachment, like the Usos coming out and like kind of explaining it and then turning it around on them and making fun of them, like that was helpful. Like,
yeah, I agree.
And it was also good because they're good talkers. I will say I enjoyed all the Team Hell No segments. I like Kane as a wrestler a lot. I like Daniel as a wrestler a lot. I love the Usos. that match at the end was a disappointment. It was not that good to me.
I felt like by the time I got to it, I was like, I've watched so much fucking wrestling in the last 2 days that I don't care.
I didn't think it wasn't a bad match.
No, it wasn't a bad match at all.
But I would not say it was a good match. It was like a bit of a letdown of a match.
It also felt like it was very exciting when Paige came out and was like, this will be made into a triple threat match if they win. And so at first, going up until the main event, I was like, oh, so they're going to win. It's going to be a triple threat. And then literally as soon as the match started, I was like, there's no way in shit they're going to win this match.
Yeah.
Like, they're just definitely not.
Which, like, in most instances, I'm like a little annoyed when things get made into triple threats randomly. But I hate the Bludgeon Brothers so much that I feel like
I wanted them to be part.
I
I
agree. Part of it. Then I was like, oh, Bludgeon Brothers, those guys.
Yeah.
And we like Luke Harper, and we discussed that we don't hate Eric Rowan anymore. But it's like, it's just not a good gimmick, and it sucks, and it's dumb that they're the tag champs.
Yeah. They're just
But also, if Team
wasting
Hell
this
No
division.
becomes tag champs, like, what happens?
The Bar comes back, hopefully.
That would be great.
That would be awesome.
This is all just like a long game for the Bar.
Truly. I hope so. It's so weird because I got so sick of the Bar at the end of Raw because they were just doing the same things over and over with them. But I didn't think that the alternative was do nothing with them on SmackDown. I don't like that either.
You know what I would say about this week in SmackDown? There was a lot of interesting segments and good promos and a lot of good talking, but I feel like all of the matches were maybe a little disappointing because Jeff versus Miz
was fine.
But it was long, and you
really
knew
long.
that Miz wasn't going to win, and it,
Yeah.
you know, an open challenge can sometimes be really exciting. But, like, Miz versus Jeff isn't particularly exciting. Like, Cien versus Jeff would have been exciting, but it seems like either they A, don't know what to do with him, or they're saving him for something, which is also a mistake.
Yeah, I don't understand what.
Right, so it just was like, oh, The Miz, cool. Well,
Actually-
he's going to lose, but why is this so long?
I can see Shinsuke beating Jeff for the title, for the U.S. title, and then Cien is challenging
That would
him.
be great.
I actually think that would be a really good use of both Cien and Shinsuke.
It's a fine filler match, but, like, it would have been more exciting if it was, like, Ty and Jeff. Like, it was just, like, a random, like, oh, Miz, cool.
Yeah, it's like, I
It
get
was,
that
oh,
Miz...
this match is kind of long.
Yeah, like, I get Miz should be on TV. Miz is great. I love
Yeah.
seeing Miz, but, yeah, did he really need this spot? I don't think
know.
so.
I don't think so.
Honestly, and I know this is kind of a weird thing to say, the U.S. belt kind of feels beneath him.
Yeah.
So
That's
like,
true.
Why is he doing this open challenge? Like, just because he's like, oh, I'm gonna get this belt, but then if you lose, like, you're now beneath this belt that's beneath you. Like, it was just a weird choice.
That's a good point. Well, I obviously marked out really hard for the New Day pancake eating segment. Byron's hat was delightful.
I also like straight up looked like he was out of Get Out. It was weird.
Oh, yeah.
It's
I
like
guess,
the same outfit.
I haven't seen that movie because I don't watch scary movies. I guess that's true.
It was
But
weird.
also, like, that kind of works for
No,
Byron.
it totally works for Byron Saxton. Totally.
But also, we know that Byron is like a New Day stan, so him like introducing this contest was really delightful, and him like having, Kofi Kingston is a one-time Jamaican hot wings eating champion, and then like, oh, we don't have time for Big E's like intro. Oh, it takes 5. We don't have time for it. Oh my god, there's so many fun segments. And I was obviously really into the pancake eating segment, and then my heart was broken because Sanity beat them all up. But then I took a moment. I was like, oh, Sanity versus New Day? A, there's 3 of them.
Yeah, exactly. It's the
And
perfect
B,
stable versus stable.
I want to watch all of them wrestle.
Yeah.
I want them to do an insane match. This would be a great, like, I know we're a little ways away, but this would be like a great Hell in a Cell match between like these guys.
Ooh, yeah.
Like, there is a lot of opportunity, and I hope that they like figure it out because, yeah. Also, EY is a good talker, and all of the New Day are good talkers.
Yeah.
Like,
I was totally prepared to watch them have a pancake eating contest.
I
like,
was too. It didn't
it
didn't even occur to me that something else would happen.
Me either. I was totally ready. And Michael and I were watching it, and he was like, "How are they counting Big E's pancakes? He's putting in too many." And then the lights went down. And he was like, "Oh, we're not actually doing this."
We all were like, this is something that's acceptable.
Yeah, like they time traveled. Like I would be 0% surprised if they were like, "We're literally having a pancake eating contest." Also, Kofi's hair was incredible.
I love that he tried to put the hat on and was like, I can't.
I've got this Who hair.
Kofi forever.
The
So, how are you feeling about Asuka and Ellsworth and Carmella?
I'm annoyed. I'm so annoyed by it. Like, why are we making women wrestling men a joke? Why are we making Asuka a joke?
I think they like tried to trick us because at first I was excited, and then the more I thought about it and heard some takes, and then especially after this, I was like, this
is bullshit. Also, like, it felt even more disappointing that they didn't really have any kind of match, because he did have a match with Becky where Becky just got to kick his ass, which was fun. It was like, oh, I wish that the women were actually allowed to wrestle the men, but at least with Becky, she got to like beat the shit out of him.
Well, Asuka did slap the hell out of him.
She slapped him so fucking hard. That was awesome.
That was awesome.
The running around, like, why are we making Asuka into a clown show? Like, this is so weird. And like, I get that we're building up to her and Carmella again, but it just feels like a waste. And I appreciate the idea of the funny guy who can lose to women, but why is the top woman having this clown show match with this dude? Like, it's bullshit.
Right. And especially, that's an okay trope and idea if there are other intergender matches. If that's the only one, then
it's just a joke that the women
and
would
how
ever
ridiculous
fight
is like the bar is so low that like, I mean, I got duped. I was excited. I was like, finally, Asuka versus Ellsworth, intergender. And then I was like, wait a minute. They duped me. This sucks.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, especially after getting something real from Becky and Ellsworth, it felt especially disappointing. Like, I wanted her to do anything. Like, I just wanted her to flip him around and punch him in the face a couple times. Like, she got to hit him with a spinning back fist, but like,
after he gave that like promo where he was like a dick about women, like that stuff only works
if he gets his comeuppance. Like, it just to let that flow out there is awful. And like, watching Carmella grab him by the hair and pull him back was like
emasculating, and like, yeah,
that stuff's good. But if the whole point is that it's this emasculated man, like, why can't Asuka just beat his ass then?
Right.
It just felt like a very, like, they wanted to have their cake and eat it too.
Right.
And it was like,
exactly.
No, you needed to pick the right response to this, which was to let Asuka kill him.
Correct. It was fun watching AJ and Aiden wrestle.
Yes, I agree with that.
I liked Rusev's little promo to AJ. That was great.
Mm-hmm.
I am confused as to why Rusev has a new Rusev Day shirt that is worse than the first one.
He does? I have not seen it.
The first one is just like black with a Bulgarian flag, Happy Rusev Day, right? That's solid. The new one is red with Happy Rusev Day on it in really tiny letters. And then the colors are the Rusev Day colors. So like black, white, and green on the red. But it's like it sucks. And I was like, the first one was fine.
That's bizarre.
Other people are not. I don't think people are going to buy this.
That's weird.
If you give them the option between the two.
Yeah, why wouldn't you buy? I guess if you already have the other one and you want to support Rusev,
buy the mug or the sweatshirt. Why would you buy? No.
Yeah.
It was just, it's classic WWE design nonsense.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I was Rusev, I'd be like, I'm going to wear the old one. It's still for sale, right? I'm just going to wear that one.
Yeah.
Aiden obviously lost, but he had a couple good licks
great
in there.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually gets to wrestle and doesn't seem like, it actually seems like he's a part of the stable and not just like the valet, which I like. Mm-hmm. I appreciate.
He's a talented wrestler and he's a big dude. I think people just forget because he does the musical theater thing. Like, he is tall as fuck and very muscular. Like, he's a big guy.
And he's talented.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very into Nakamura accidentally calling Jeff Hardy a insane clown. I was like, what?
Is he a clown?
Also, somebody tweeted at me like, oh, don't you mean crown? And I was like,
No,
I don't. People have accents and it's okay. And if that's literally what you're thinking about, hi, I'm going to block you. Bye.
I don't.
If you're so shitty that you can't get over the fact that people have accents and you think that's funny, like, it's not funny. Shinsuke Nakamura cut a good promo and is a good wrestler, and this is going to be a good match. And if you're a petty little like 40-year-old white dude in your like apartment by yourself, like, fuck you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got so mad by that.
Even if you like, especially if you have a family, don't be a racist.
Yeah.
Like, for real. It's just don't be a dick about it. Who cares? People talk different. It's fine.
I don't understand how
our country is enormous. There are a billion different accents here.
I almost said like, I don't understand it. How 2018, I was like, never mind, I get it. I understand. I know what's happening. The world is shit.
We're living in a fascist country, basically.
Well, Shinsuke Nakamura is amazing, and everybody who doesn't know that is a dick, is what I have to say.
I've been saying that for years.
The video of Peyton and Billy was really good.
Yes.
Last week I did not like their in-ring promo, and I didn't think it was really good, and it was one of the ones that I was like, oh man, I love you guys, and I'm really disappointed by this one. But then they followed it up with this video, and I was like, yeah, you guys fucking are great. And did you see that video of, it was in their ride-along. I didn't watch ride-along, but I watched this one, the like part of it. It's a video of Peyton and Billy together with Triple H, and it's basically Triple H telling them like, we're gonna move you up to the main roster, and they're like, reaction, oh my god, I'm like tearing up. It's just like so pure and like it's just the best feel-good moment, especially after having personally listened to them on Lillian Garcia's podcast, which is still hilariously the only episode I've ever listened to. Might be the only episode of Ride Along I watch. I have the context of like how much they both actually love wrestling, how hard they've worked together, how important like their friendship is in wrestling, and then like them being brought up to the main roster together, and like it was very emotional. You should watch it because it was great, and they're great, and I love them.
I love them.
Peyton had a match with Becky. It was a fine match. The important thing is that Becky's on a winning streak. We'll see what happens. I'm like, I want to be excited because I love Becky and I want good things for her, but also like
I've been duped before.
Yeah, they dupe us all the time with Becky, and you're gonna get me hot and Becky, and then like take it away from me.
Yeah, exactly.
So I am cautiously optimistic, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
it was also like buried in the show. It was just like a random match that happened.
And like, I'll watch Becky fight anyone.
Right,
Like,
for
straight
sure.
up anyone. She's so good. I just wish they would use her more. And they clearly understand that people love her.
People love her.
It's so bizarre that they have this like white hot baby face that they just do nothing with. It's
because they are trash.
because they don't like her accent. Like, it's so stupid.
Which is bizarre because, as we said, you just had Nakamura talking, who has a thick accent.
Yeah.
Billy and Peyton have thick accents. Their accent is no thicker than Becky's.
Yeah.
Becky, you can understand. You let Asuka talk, who has a thick accent and is sometimes kind of hard to understand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Does that mean I want her to stop talking? Absolutely not. Like, everyone should have the right to talk.
Right, exactly.
But if that's your big hang up, like, aren't you the biggest hypocrite in the world?
Yeah, and also, like, you don't seem to have any problem as a company with Finn and Sheamus, who have the same accent. Like,
I miss her puns. Let her
yeah,
talk.
just
Bring me
let
some
her talk.
puns.
Ugh. I don't get it. Also, she's like stunningly beautiful. It blows my mind.
And she
that
finally found the right shade of orange.
and finally has good gear that is like that fits Will, and I'm not worried is gonna fall off at any moment. Like, she's in such a good place, and they just do fucking dick
The
all
crowd
over
was
her.
so hot for her when she almost got the Money in the Bank briefcase.
You know, I bet it's because of the tag team stuff. I bet it's because she pushes it that they're like, nah, we don't want to do that, and because you're doing things that we don't want to do, like, nah.
Fight for what you believe in, Becky. We love you. All right. Any other thoughts about dumb wrestling?
Nope, I think that's it.
Who's your appreciate?
Mustache Mountain.
Both of them?
Both of them as a unit.
I
This
feel like
weekend,
they should push Trent Seven. He is particularly daddy. Like, everyone knows that Tyler's hot.
see, that's the thing is, if you have only seen Tyler through WWE and all you've ever
Do
seen
you not
is...
follow him on social media?
No, I don't.
You really should. Did you not see that picture of him in the airplane?
No, I sent that to you.
Oh, a lot of people sent that to me.
No, of course I've seen that.
I mean, of course I've seen that.
Because everyone on my timeline's appreciating about it, alright?
Everybody's appreciating all over the place.
No, I feel like a lot of people already appreciate about Trent Seven too. I just mean that the two of them this week in particular had like hard daddy energy, and I wasn't.
Hard daddy.
They both had big dick energy, and they fucking crushed it. So I was
I
appreciating
hate
them
the phrase
this week.
"big dick energy."
It's so stupid, but like I totally get it. I understand exactly what that phrase means. It's
Bwomp.
also gender neutral. Anyone can have big.
it's
dick
for sure
energy.
gender neutral. I'm just like,
Like, you have big dick energy for sure. You walk into a space.
I got steel ovary energy. Okay,
I mean, yeah, that's the same thing.
well, let's call it that. My appreciate is Mickie James. She was hot as hell this week.
Oh,
Also, she was really good in that match.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I like watching her wrestle. And yeah, she's kind of just Alexa's sidekick, but she kicked ass in that match. And honestly, it was at a part in Raw where I was like, will this episode ever end? And I was like, oh, I like Mickie and I like this wrestling. Yay.
Thank God.
Is this my life now? Oh, it is.
Oh.
I've crafted a life where this is my life.
Oh no.
All right, you can find us on the internet. I'm at Stella_Cheeks.
I'm at
You
Urgency.
can find us at Not Your Demo Pod on Twitter. And you can also follow Cage Side Seats on Twitter.
You can subscribe to our Patreon. We put all kinds of shit on our Patreon. It's great. You can go to patreon.com/notyourdemopod. We've got all kinds of levels. And there's a bunch of backlog on there, including all of our Every Mania Ever series, which is pretty good.
Which is fine.
Which is, fine. And also we have movie reviews.
Yes, No Holds Bar hasn't gone up. It's going up this week. I'm sorry. I've been busy. I've been trying on wedding dresses and having feelings. But I have like a new job schedule, so we'll be much better about putting things out. And by we, I mean me. Look,
We record
It
all
takes
of
a
these
village.
things. It just...
it takes a village.
Yeah, exactly. And also our No Holds Barred review is pretty good.
That movie is trash. You can email us at notyourdemo@gmail.com. You can rate, review, and subscribe. Please leave reviews and stuff.
Yeah, we haven't had either of those things in some time.
Oh my God, buy our merch.
Oh yeah, we have merch.
Where can they find our merch, Erin?
You can find our merch on What a Maneuver. You should also look around What a Maneuver. They've got a bunch of good shit, but especially look at our great shirts. We've got a cartoon and a text one, depending on what kind of shirts you like.
So many shirts.
So many shirts. They come in a
Merch and
variety
shirts.
of colors.
Also, if you're going to be at Rise on Sunday, come say hi to me and my mom and my grandma and Erin.
I'll also be there.
Me and my mom and my whole family.
And Erin.
Sometimes their family's like, oh, sure, I'll go to wrestling. Like, I wasn't going to bring my grandma, and then she was like, why can't I go? And I was like, you know what? You can.
You can absolutely go,
I just
Grandma.
didn't bring it up because I didn't think you'd want to, but if you want to, sure. She was like, I'd like an experience. I was like, whatever, Grandma.
What a great way to look at your life as a grandma. I just want an experience.
I was like, Grandpa would not have this experience. She goes, well, I'm not Grandpa. I was like, that is also a great point. Thank you, Grandma.
Grandma's just hitting back. She's like, listen.
Listen, little girl. All right, we got 2 words for you.
Brie mode.
Are you going to go Brie mode today? 4th of July.
Probably not. I have to work tomorrow.
Don't we all?
Brie mode.
My mouth is like really like saliva-y today.
Oh.
It's gross.